Hello everyone, my name is Carla and you have reached my FlossTube channel, Carla being Crafty. I talk about mostly cross stitch, but a little bit about other crafts and a lot of my life thrown in. Today is a FlossTube extra video. Today is Monday, it's the 26th of April. And I'm home today because I came home very late last night from a weekend away, and so I took today off and slept in a little bit. But now I thought I would come on here and do a video because we're almost at the end of April. May 1st is Friday, I think. And so it's mania time. Stitch Mania. So I talked a little bit about mania, I think, in my last video, what it is. Most stitchers who have been stitching for a little bit while have heard the term, if nothing else. If they're not familiar, at least they've heard about it. It's basically just kind of a fun event. Everybody kind of makes it their own. Originally, I believe it was started in 2015, and the original thing was kind of just to do something different, get out of your comfort zone as far as stitching. And the original mania was 15 projects in the month of May, 15 new starts in the month of May. People have changed that. They've added stitches every year. It was started in 2015, but from what I've heard, although people say that it was 15 projects because it was 2015, what I've heard is that is not true. It was just that was like half of the days of the month. But some people have taken it to be that way and they've added a project every year. Some people do a mix of whips and new starts. Some people do like a monogamania because they have a ton of whips and they want to work on something, one project for the whole month and see what happens. So there's all different ways to do it. Last year I kind of did like a Cat Maynia and I stitched in all my full coverage projects more intently during the month of May than I usually do. And this year, what I've decided to do is a Cat Maynia. So those of you who watch my channel know that, like, I have several whips now. I'm in the 30 range. It's a little bit high for my comfort. I want to try and get it down this year. But that being said, I've still started things almost every month so far. So, you know, I'm not going to get things down if I keep starting new stuff, right? But it's all good. But anyway, so those of you who watch know that my whips, I don't know, I haven't counted and done the math exactly, but I would say 50 to 75% of the things I stitch on have, even if they're not cat themed, they have a cat in them. Maybe even more than 75%. So I thought that since I'm kind of like cat focused to a certain extent, that it would be fun to do Cat Maynia and make all of my projects in May one of those. I've decided on 3 new starts and the rest all whips. And I've also kind of like decided on different weights, if you want to use that word, for each project. So I have 3 projects that I want to at least get one stitching session, one day of stitching on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects that I want at least 2. 4 projects 3, and then 1 project that I want to try and at least work on it 4 days during the month of May. I am trying to take into consideration the fact that I will probably have 2 weekends where I will be over at my brother's for Friday and Saturday night. I do most of my stitching in the evening, so I will need to bring projects or bring a project on those weekends that is easily portable. For me, that means that it is, first of all, not a super high count fabric that is harder to see, and also one that doesn't have a ton of colors that I have to lug with me. So I have to keep that in mind. But I do have projects that will work, you know, that will be portable in that way. So although I may use my Tiny Decisions wheel kind of to like guide me on what I should stitch on a particular night, I also have to keep in mind those days. So it's kind of going to be half Tiny Decisions wheel, half just maybe checking off, oh, I've worked on that twice already, or I need to do that one more time, whatever. But I thought it would be fun to come on and just, you know, show you the projects that I'm going to do. Since next weekend, my regular FlossTube video, Mania will have started. So you'll start seeing the Mania work on those projects, and I just kind of wanted to give you an overview video of all of the projects in one shot so you can see what I'm planning on working on. Okay, so I'm going to start with the ones that I have that I only want to do, or I want to focus on at least getting one day in on them. And as I said, I have 3 of those. So I'm surrounded by projects here a little bit, so forgive me. It's a little bit chaotic here. Trying to organize myself, but not always easy. Okay, so I do want to get one more day on Chester's Place in April. This is a Whistle Stop Stitcher Designs pattern, designed by Jennifer Grace, Whistle Stop Stitcher, the Whistle Stop Stitcher, I think, or Whistle Stop Stitcher Designs. I'm doing this as a SAL with Amy Sprinklestein stitches, the for Grouchy SAL. My mind is going blank today. And this is how far I am on it so far. I'm doing this on a 32 count opal mystery fabric that I had in my stash. I think I got it from eBay. So I don't know where it came from, but I love it. It's gorgeous. So I want to get at least another day in it, which of course is not going to get it anywhere near finished, but I will take bites out of this until it's done, because I am enjoying this project and I think it's really pretty, and I love all the sentiment behind it. I love the fact that proceeds from this pattern are going to an animal shelter now, and just the reason that this was created in the first place, to help out a pet that needed oral surgery. I just love everything about this pattern, all of the meaning behind it, in addition to the pattern itself. I am going to change the bottom a little bit. I've talked about that. I'm going to kind of adapt what is down there. It's all different animals now, but I'm going to adapt it to the cats and dogs that are currently and have most recently been in my life. Half of it is going to be current ones, and half of it is going to be my most recent losses of pets, which, I mean, luckily there haven't been that many recent. I mean, I lost Frodo like 2 years ago. He was my dog. I have 2 cats that have passed away in like the last 10 years, but you know, not all recently. But those 3 animals are going to be on one side. My cat Baggy and my brother and sister-in-law's 2 dogs are going to be on the other side, because they're like kind of my step pets or something. And in the middle is going to be the Rainbow Bridge, signifying the ones that are here and the ones that have crossed over. So that is the first one, Chester's Place. I'm also going to be putting in at least one day on my Calendar Cats Spring, and I don't have the picture here, of course. This is an Edie Harper design. I'm sorry, it's not anywhere near me and I can't get at it. I'm sorry. And I can't, of course, show you the chart, but I can show you. So this is a chart that has four calendar cats, designed by Edie Harper. I started spring. It's a small pattern, but I'm doing it on a pretty small count fabric. Well, maybe it's 18. I don't know. But it's got this big white cat on it. And I will make sure that I pull it out so you can see the picture for next weekend. But that's where I am. It's kind of just a little start. I dyed all the fabrics myself for this. As I said, it's 4 different charts. Good heavens. And one of them seems to be, oh nope, it's shoved down at the bottom. I was gonna say, one of the fabrics is missing. It's not. Okay, so I believe this one is what I'm using for winter. It's gonna need an iron before I start on it. This is the autumn, and this is summer, and then of course we have the green spring. And I dyed these fabrics using a guide from the model stitch. They're not exact, but I pulled my own colors to go with the fabrics that I dyed. Okay, so that is gonna get at least one day of work. And then my last one day project is Cat, where is it? It's missing too. Boy, I thought I prepped. Oh well. It's Autumn Cat. It is a Owl Forest embroidery pattern. I'm doing it on an hardanger, so it's pretty tiny. And it was a project that I had abandoned and then restarted, and so now I'm determined to finish it, and I will try to make sure I show that to you next week as well when I find it, because I just don't see it right now. Is this it? Nope. Nope. It's missing. It's probably in my drawer. I reorganize the stuff all the time, and I reorganize myself into being unorganized, if that makes sense. Anyway, okay, so those are the projects that I want to do one day on, and then I have, as I said, 5 that I want to do at least 2 days on. So I am going to be working on Night Walk Down. This is by the Blue Flower. I started this pattern in August for my Black Cat birthday salve. And I am stitching this on is this 36 count or 32? I'm not sure. But this is a linen that I dyed myself. And I got the cat and the lady completed. And now I have to do all the flowers and the owl and the peacock. So there's a lot of fun stuff to do still on here. I don't know if I'm gonna get this done before next August, before my birthday. I'm gonna try, but I don't know. You know, and I'm less concerned about that kind of thing than I used to be. So Night Walk Down, that's gonna get 2 days. Sampler of Shaw. Have not worked on this one in quite a while, and I couldn't miss it. So I will be happy to do at least 2 days on this. This is one that actually might get a little bit more time, because this will be very easy to bring to my brother and sister-in-laws, because it's just one color, or actually it's 2 colors, but actually it's 3 colors. But I am doing this. I started this in September for Sampler September. This is one of the very few samplers that I saw that has ever spoken to me. And I saw it and I loved it immediately. So I knew I had to stitch it. And I was excited to find a sampler that I really liked, because I usually just really don't. I mean, I like them when other people stitch them. It's just not something that I ever really wanted to do. But I'm doing this on a 20 count Aida using silky thread, which is a combo that I found I really like. And I'm probably maybe a third done, maybe a little bit more than that. And I'm using, as I said, silky thread. I'm using this variegated as the main color, and then I'm stitching all the cats in purple, in a solid purple, and then little accent things in this coordinating pink. And I personalized it with Carla Loves Baggy, and I did put 2020, which is when I started it. I know I'm not going to finish it until, obviously I'm not going to finish it until 2021, hopefully. But I didn't mind. I wanted to put the date that I started it. So that will get at least 2 days, possibly more, as I said, because this one might come with me when I go over to Aaron and Stacey's on the weekend, in which case it might get 4 days actually. Okay, cat collage. This is the Laurel Birch cat collage. It is a Design Works kit. I started this as my New Year New Start this year. So it's like almost full coverage. I mean, just this little bit of white at the top is only not full coverage. It came with an Aida that I didn't care for, so I changed to an even weave. I didn't like the stiffness of the fabric that it came with. I like Aida in general, but yeah, I just wanted to change. I just wanted to change it on this one. So that's where I am. I'm not stitching this strictly on the diagonal or strictly in any way. I'm kind of section completing, and if I don't finish a color, I will park it kind of. I don't park it in the right place, I just park it over, and then when I get to needing it again, I'll pull the thread back. But this one is really enjoyable to stitch on. And I am doing all of the back stitches as I go, because I really like to be able to see the cat faces come alive as I stitch. Then the other two that are going to get 2 days, you've seen a lot recently because I have been working on them for April for my pretty ladies. The first one is Bellatrix by Bella Filipina. This is on a hand dyed by Rolanda 28 count opal fabric. Just like Mirabilia's, the Bella Filipina are charted on either 14 count, 8 or 28 count even weave, and I like to keep them on that because of the beading that's involved. So that's how far I got on this one. You can see the shape of her waist coming in here. So I am loving this one. Maybe when I work on it in in May, since, you know, I am working on it. Oops, I just got my needle minder stuck. Since I am working on it for Cat Maynia, perhaps I will kind of work my way over to the cat part and stitch on the cat. But I don't know if I'll do that or if I'll just continue to kind of move along as I have been. And the other one that is a newer start is this. This is a Dimensions Gold collection, the Wind Moon Fairy. And since this is a kit, it's all kit fabric. The kit fabric is like this gray Aida, and then the kit flosses. Yeah. And that's how far I got on that one. And this one, definitely when I move over here, I'm going to hit the cat. So I will probably do that for sure for my May stitching. I'll get over to the cat on that one. Okay, so those are all the ones that I want to get at least 2 days of stitching. Then for 3 days of stitching, I have my 2 full coverage quick stitches. I have Lavender Roses. This is by Carrie Hawks. And as you can see, I already like turned the corner here on my diagonal. So I am, you know, we always say, right? Oh, I only have this much more to do. I'm getting close to a finish. I'm not super close to a finish on this. This mark, by the way, was highlighter that I was very new when I started stitching this, so I made mistakes in procedures and learned my lessons. Luckily, it's, you know, far enough away from the stitching that I don't need to worry about it. But yeah, I had my highlighter open and the fabric like was sitting on it and just like soaked that up. So now I'm really careful with my highlighters. But this was my very first introduction to full coverage. I loved it when I first started it, and I still love it. I just don't work on it that often because I have so many other things to do. But I gotta say, I do love it, and I am going to be happy to work on it in May. So this one hopefully will get 3 days, depending on how long of a stitching session. That could like finish this diagonal. It just depends. I stitch very slowly on my full coverages. Sometimes I get into a groove and it goes fast, but I tend to stitch slower on them. And because I'm very methodical about the way I do it, I don't ever have to frog anything. But you know, it's slow going. I don't mind it. It's just the way it is. It's how I stitch on them. And then my other full coverage quick stitch, which I've recently worked on, so you've seen it really recently if you watch my videos regularly, is Cat Maynia by Nadia Tate. And this one, actually I worked on this week, so actually I don't know that you've seen the update. I don't think you have, because I will be showing it next Sunday. This is what it looks like with the little kitty cat sitting on her back. I'm obviously not stitching the background, which means that I'm a lot further along even than it looks, because there's big sections of background that I'm not going to stitch. But this little whitey blob right there, that's the kitty's paw. So I actually hit the kitty. So another one I love. Don't stitch on it enough, but I will be stitching on it at least 3 times in May if all goes according to plan. Okay, so then I have 2 more patterns that I intend to give at least 3 days, and these 2 are going to be new starts. And where did I put them? Okay. They're right here. Okay, so I'm going to be starting Leila's Studio All Hallows Eve. I'm always going to have to say Leila's Studio All Hallows Eve because I have another All Hallows Eve, which is Glenda in Place, that I'm working on at the same time. So I can't just say All Hallows Eve. But I'm going to be starting this. This is going to be another Sal with Amy Sprinklestein stitches because we worked on Cats in the Rain together, which is right there right now, and finished it. Started it in February and I finished it a couple weeks ago. So we were talking and it's like, well, let's do another Sal. So we're going to do this one. And I thought it would work really well for my Cat Maynia. And I pulled all the covers. I pulled all the colors. And I pulled this, I pulled my own colors. I don't always use what's called for, but I used like similar. So I pulled all these colors. I am going to change her hair to purple. Because we also decided to do this. It was like the week that I got kind of a not super nice comment about my hair color. So, being defiant and, tongue-in-cheek about it, I decided to go ahead and do her hair purple. And I was going to use this fabric, which I really, really love. And I think it would look good on this. But then I got this fabric in the big package that I got from Cindy as a gift, and this fabric was in it, and I'm gonna have to check counts because this is a 14 count, but if it will fit on this piece of fabric, I think I might use that. This is a little bit more like what is in the called for, which I don't usually use called for, but I really like this piece of fabric, so I think it would work really well. I mean, obviously. So I might change it to this. So I have to, as I said, I have to check the size and count and everything to see if it would fit. If it doesn't fit, no big deal. I will use this fabric, but if it does fit, then I'm going to use this fabric. Two different looks completely, but you know, either one is going to be really pretty, and I will make that final decision when I sit down to start to stitch it. So this one I intend to give 3 days. The other one, a new start that I intend to give 3 days, is Gathering Places Night Creatures. So I got this pattern from Michelle Bendy Stitchy. It turned out to be a gift. She sent it to me as a gift. I actually was going to purchase it from her D-stash. I won the purchase kind of thing when she was having one of her online D-stash videos, which were really fun. And then she sent it to me as a gift because my mom passed away and she just wanted to, you know, do something to brighten my day, which it did. So I kitted it up with this Bestitch Me fabric, which I went on to find, because I was trying to find something that fit the mood that I was looking for. It was really hard for me to find something that I liked, but I found this piece of sleet fabric. It's a 32 count Lugana opal from Bestitch Me. So it's just kind of like a subtle gray. It does have modeling in it, but not a lot. And I don't even think it's gonna show up on camera. It's just really subtle. And then the flosses that I pulled are mostly from, I've got some color and cotton. No, I have some General Art, a little bit of color and cotton, a little bit of Needle Necessities, and then mostly these are Mystical Diamond Art flosses because I wanted to do a project that I use Mystical Diamond Art flosses. Amy from Obsessively Crafty, who owns Mystical Diamond Art, she hasn't posted in a little bit. She's having some personal stuff that's going on. She started law school, or no, graduate school, and some other stuff. So her shop might be a little bit on hiatus, but I'm pretty sure she's coming back to it, and we'll be doing the floss of the month again. But anyway, she sent me all these lovely flosses, and I really wanted to use them. So most of these are Mystical Diamond Art that is going to be used for this project. I'm excited about this one too. I'm excited about all of them, but okay, so that is the second New Start 3-day project. And then the last project, which is the one that I want to give 4 days, because it's a full coverage, quick stitch, but still full coverage, is this Heaven and Earth Kitty Magic by Katerina Kukiotis. And I did a video on kind of kitting this up and how I kit up full coverage projects that have a lot of floss. So if you're interested on seeing that, it will show you kind of my method to do this. Get all of these beautiful flosses put together and ready to go for Kitty Magic. And I'm doing this on a 20 count Easy Guide Ada because I had it in my stash, and right now I have full coverage. I have Heaven Earth Designs. I have one on 16, which is Cat Maynia. I have one on 18, which is Lavender Roses. I have one on 25, which is my Village Bookstore, Randall Spangler, which is my actual real full-size Haid, which I don't work on very much at all. That project's going to take me the rest of my life, I'm pretty sure. And so now this one will be on 20 count. So that is my Mania plans. I'm very excited to do Mania. I'm excited to do Cat Maynia the way that I kind of designed it for myself this year. It fits in really great with what I've been doing this whole year, with kind of creating a theme for each month for myself, and then picking, I usually do 5 or 6 projects. This is, 13, so that's a little bit different. But I pick a few projects that fit into the theme that I've given myself, and then I focus on those. And I have like gone outside of the focus pieces, and I've picked projects in addition that don't exactly fit the theme, but I still want to work on them a little bit that month. Whatever, it all works. It's just a way for me to not feel overwhelmed by my whips, and and be able to work on things and move my projects forward. People talk about whether they're a process stitcher or a project stitcher, and I think I'm kind of like a little bit of both. I do love the stitching for the sake of stitching, and I'm not super worried about getting stuff completed in a certain time frame. But I know there are people who they don't even care if they ever get something done. They'll just start whatever, and if they get one day of stitching on it and 3 years later they abandon it, that's fine. I'm not quite that much of a process stitcher where I don't care at all. I don't start a project unless I have the intention of finishing it, and finishing it in a, I'm gonna sneeze, hold on. Oh God, it went away. Okay. As I said, I don't start a project without the intention of finishing it in a somewhat reasonable time frame. When I start the full coverages, I know they're going to take me years. And, like Night Walk Down, it's going to take me at least a year, if not more than that. That doesn't bother me. But, I don't want to start a tiny little thing and have it take, 4 years. That, I'd rather get it finished. And if it is something for somebody, I want to work on it steadily enough that they're going to get it in a reasonable time frame. So I think I'm kind of like both a process and a project stitcher. I do have 2 projects that are finished that I haven't fully finished, so I'm not that much of a project stitcher that I have to get it completely done. They're sitting there waiting for me to clean off my table and get to my sewing machine. Using my sewing machine is not my favorite thing, so I tend to procrastinate on that and put it off, and then when I have a big pile, then I'll do them all at once. But anyway, I'm excited to start all these wonderful Mania projects. I'm really excited to start this one with the kind of monochromatic kind of thing. The eyes are gonna, I think, totally pop because everything else is shades of gray, and then you're gonna have these green eyes, and that I think is gonna be really exciting. The 2 other new projects I'm starting, I'm really excited for both of them. And then all of the whips are, I love them all. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fun month as far as stitching. And as I said, I don't have any like set plans of I'm going to start this one on this time or this one on another time. I'll probably start the 3 new starts. I'll do them fairly early in the month because I'm going to want to start them. And then as far as, how often I stitch on things, I think it's just going to be what I feel like doing that day. Maybe if I can't decide, I'll use the tiny decision wheel, and we'll see. If I get to where I don't want to work on something that I have on my list, that's okay too. Or, I have had a few days where I felt super like ambitious, and I did more than one project in an evening. I worked on one for an hour and a half and another one for 2 hours or whatever. I can do that too, in which case I might get more stitching sessions on a specific project. Who knows? But I will bring you along on the journey on my Sunday videos. You'll get to see what I worked on that week, and it should be a lot of fun. So until I see you guys again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Carla. Bye-bye.